Feel the heat. Smell the rubber. Hear the roar. Get ready for the most raw, intense, and wild retro arena series.
Hello everybody and welcome to Grand Rapids, Michigan, and this is the NOMI Nationals brought to you by Vintage Trading Cards and Beam Beer, along with our good friends over at the Gavel Truck Series. We're going to introduce you guys to our field of trucks. Coming out first is a 1988 GMC K1500 designed by Bobcat Design. This is Cruise Control. Coming out next, this truck is a 1979 Ford F-250 designed by Spence Customs in the Motor City Madman Garage. This is none other than Woody. Again, this is a 1979 Ford F-250. Some people call it a dent side, but in that dent side have its typical two-tone. It's some wood paneling design. Coming out next is another Bobcats Creations truck. This is a 1973 Ford F-250 powered by a big block 4 with triple Predator carbs on this amazingly blue truck, completely one-off custom blue paint scheme. This is blue steel. One of the fun facts about this truck is actually one of the first original trucks to ever make an appearance in the NOMI Nationals Series. So, we'll see what we might have in store for some of these young guns here tonight in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Coming down the tunnel first, just below this Jumbotron, and probably one of the biggest tunnel entrances. Ladies and gentlemen, this is our very first ever tow truck to make its appearance in Beam Motorsports competition history. This is a 1981 Dodge tow truck, goes by Just Hookin'. That is a fully functional tow truck bed on the back of this truck, and it actually weighs a lot more than your typical regular bedside on the back of these trucks, so expect to see some wheelies out of Just Hookin'. Coming up next is a 1971 Chevrolet C10, and is the only truck in our field tonight rocking 73-inch tall tires. This is Showstopper. Sporting a beautiful custom one-off airbrush paint scheme with the dual flags on the roof rack there. Chevrolet Heartbeat of America, and of course Old Glory with the red, white, and blue. And coming out next, this is our only diesel truck here for tonight, powered by a Caterpillar diesel engine. It's a 1979 Ford F-350, goes by the name of Coal Train, paying homage to the Wyoming Coal Express. Again, this is the only diesel in our fleet, and honestly, one of the heaviest trucks in our fleet for tonight. Coming out, this is our very first female-inspired truck. It's a 1988 Ford F-250. This is glitter, grit, and gears. Sporting a hot pink metallic color. It's got nice. think there's a lot more glitter in this truck than it needs, but you know what? It's a beautiful looking paint scheme. And I promise you, looks aren't everything, because this truck is wild and it is ready to rip. And last but certainly not least, ladies and gentlemen, our 8th and final entry for tonight's competition here at NOMI Nationals. This is the 1986 GMC K20 Custom Deluxe, going by the legend. And this thing is not afraid to throw down. It has made its appearance also in the NOMI Nationals. Actually, almost hurt our cameraman Steve, if you remember that episode, a long time ago. But this thing is sporting over 2,000 horsepower. Big One Chevrolet is not afraid to show it. Those are our 8 trucks for tonight's lineup, ladies and gentlemen, and we are going to go in and look at round 1 bracket to see who's going to be facing off in Monster Truck Heads-Up Racing competition here tonight in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Without further ado, we're going to get the show on the road. Ladies and gentlemen, it is round 1 of Heads-Up Monster Truck Racing action. Coming to the line first, we have got literally a heavyweight matchup. We've got the Caterpillar diesel-powered Brown dead-side Ford, known as Coltrane, lining up against the 1981 Dodge tow truck, known as Just Hookin'. Ladies and gentlemen, the beauty about the NOMI Nationals is we do not have any dirt. This is strictly concrete and steel, so when these drivers get a run-up on these cars, it is solid steel. Some guys, they like to take a kamikaze approach and just put it to the wood and pray for the best. Other guys like to take a different approach and try to more or less crawl over the cars and hope not being in the air too much might be able to give them the win. Eight competitors and only one may come out victorious here tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, both drivers are lined up and they're waiting on the light. It's showtime here in Grand Rapids, Michigan for the NOMI Nationals. Who's going to come on top? Is it going to be Just Hookin' or is it going to be Coltrane? And trucks are out there up and over the cars. And Coltrane, by just a tire, is going to knock out Just Hookin'. Just Hookin' is going to go back into the pit and is going to sit there for the remainder of the night. Coltrane, the Caterpillar diesel-powered dead-side Ford, is going to be moving on to the next round. Our second matchup for round 1 racing here in Grand Rapids, Michigan, is going to be 2 of probably the prettiest looking trucks. I would argue that both these trucks are 100% show trucks. Even better yet is a Ford versus Chevrolet showdown. Red versus blue. It doesn't get better than this, ladies and gentlemen. It is going to be Blue Steel, the 1973 Ford F-250, taking on Showstopper, the 1971 Chevy C10, sitting on 73-inch tall tires. Both absolutely beautiful looking pieces of machinery, amazing looking trucks. But let me just tell you, it is not all show for these trucks. It is a lot of show, but they got a lot of go. Both trucks are sporting big block power with methanol, supporting well over 1,500 to 1,800 horsepower. And believe me, when you're supporting 73-inch tall tires on that Showstopper truck, you need all the power you can get to turn that much weight. What I mean by that, your 66 and 73-inch tall tires, you're talking easily 400-pound difference in per tire in difference on that truck. So we'll see if Showstopper, with all that weight, is going to help them get across the line first, face it up against Blue Steel. Both trucks are on the line and ready to go. Showstopper with a little bit of a lead there. Actually, more than enough of a lead. Showstopper is going to put Blue Steel back in the pits. Showstopper is going to be moving on to round number 2 of the competition, knocking out the Blue Steel Ford. It will be moving on to round number 2. Tough break for Blue Steel. It's a beautiful looking truck, but apparently not enough go for the Ford camp. Showstopper will be moving on to round number 2. Our next matchup coming up, round 1 of racing, is another Ford versus GM matchup. We have got the green and wood panel van. This is Woody. Again, this truck is out of the Motor City Madman Garage. This is its debut event here in Grand Rapids, so not too far away from the shop. Want to kind of come out and see what the truck is capable of, stretch its legs a little bit. And it's going to be running up against Cruise Control. like we've got Woody inching up on the line. Let's get cruise control ready and the officials will be A-OK. Looks like they're inched up and ready to go. Both trucks are waiting for the light. Who is moving on and who is going back into the pits? It is Woody in the far lane, in the red lane, taking on cruise control. Who's gonna win it? It'll be Ford Power or Chevy Power. Both trucks are off. Up and over the set of cars. Woody skies it up in the air and puts it on the bumper. And unfortunately, because of that, cruise control is going to be moving on to the next round. Tough break for Woody, but you know what? I guarantee you the fans love every single second of that. Seeing that truck go up in the air, didn't look like it damaged too much. Maybe put a little bit of a dent there in that rear bumper or that dent side Ford. But you know what? It's all for the fans. We love to see it. We hate damaging good-looking trucks. We really do. But you know what? It's all for the sake of the show. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we've got one more matchup here, round number 1 of racing. This is going to be Glitter, Grit, and Gears. That hot paint 1988 Ford is going to be taking on the legend, the wild child that likes to sling this truck around on the stage floor. And mind you, this is all concrete and steel. When it comes to running in these concrete arenas, this is a hockey arena. So the concrete's extremely smooth, and with the amount of power that's going into these big trucks, you might as well be just sliding around on ice. There's not a lot of grip that you can have out here. So sometimes you might see these trucks when they're leaving the line, they have all the power in the world, but there's not enough, they can't keep going. They don't have enough momentum to kind of get up there and get up over the cars. But that ain't stopping the legend of Ford. Like I said, this truck is well over 2,000 horsepower. It is geared to kill, and it does not take no for an answer. Meanwhile, Glitter, Grit, and Gears, this is its debut competition here in Grand Rapids, Michigan. We're not entirely sure what this truck is capable of, but we're about to find out right now. As both trucks are sitting on the line, well ready for green light. Dead easy start from both trucks. And the legend barely edging out Glitter, Grit, and Gears. Oh, hold on to it, legend. Oh my goodness. Maybe scraping the paint a little bit on that concrete wall. I'm not sure if that's just a testament to the amount of power and how he's able to control that truck. Regardless. Tough break for Glitter, Grit, and Gears. Unfortunately, he's going to go back to the pits. He's going to be done for the night. But ladies and gentlemen, we started with 8 trucks. We're down to 4. We're going to be coming back here in a little bit for round 2 of racing. However, we have something a little special for you guys waiting in the back. Look at this, ladies and gentlemen, brought to you by our good friends over at Gavril Truck Series. They donated, this was actually a trade-in that they had over on their circuit. This was an old beat-up little green pickup truck. And you're probably wondering, well, why in the world do we have some kid in here ripping around this little truck and more or less just tearing up the floor? Well, ladies and gentlemen, for those that don't know and don't maybe pay enough attention to this amazing game that is BeamNG.drive, there has been an update. And as you can tell, we've been having to reset and move these cars quite a bit due to, well, unfortunately, with how slick this track is. So, we wanted to take this opportunity and show you guys what we've been using to more or less adjust and fix these cars. So, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, coming through the tunnel, part of the latest update of BeamNG. We're going to basically leave it to the Hirochi Earth Mover in its giant claw to show you the sheer amount of force and power these massive machines have. Well, unfortunately to this tiny, putrid little Gavril D series. The WL40 with the claw attachment is going to absolutely destroy and eviscerate this little D series. Picking a whole full-size pickup truck like it weighs nothing, almost like it weighs a paper clip. Absolutely showing off its true display of raw strength, the amount of hydraulic power and capability that this machine has. I think it's even going to take it around the arena floor for a little lap. Mind you, this is a regular cab long bed pickup truck that weighs well over 4,000 or 5,000 pounds. And this machine is carrying it like it weighs nothing. But that's not the only thing that we're going to show off for you amazing fans here tonight at the NOMI Nationals. Absolutely not. We've got something a little bit more in store. We're going to turn this little green pickup truck into scrap metal. So I'd like to emphasize that this was a truck that was donated by our good friends over at Gavril Truck Series. This was an old trade-in. Truck had well over 300,000 miles on it. It's been in a couple of accidents, old-timey paint. We think the paint that's actually on the truck was actually rattle canned by a high schooler. I think he lost his license. Tons of sheer force into this poor little pickup truck. And you see as he's picking up the ground, it's almost completely ripping the body in bed from the frame itself. And we even showed you guys, this was a perfectly running, driving pickup truck just a minute ago. Well, not anymore. It is now scrap metal to be melted down and turned into toasters. Ladies and gentlemen, that is our Hirochi display of power. We'll definitely be doing a little bit more in future events with these new earth-moving vehicles and machines as we come out with more amazing NOMI Nationals content. But as we get him back to the pits, we're going to be coming right back to round 2 of side-by-side monster truck racing. Alright, as we had our track conditions come out, kind of clean up any fluids or anything we had from that little display from the Hirochi Earth Mover there, it is time for round 2 of racing, another heavyweight matchup. It is the diesel-powered pull train taking that extremely tall, 73-inch tall tire showstopper. I took the Chevy over there in the red lane and the pull train repping the Wine Pull Express over the blue lane. This is another Ford versus Chevrolet 1970s matchup. Who do you guys think? Who do you guys rooting for in this matchup? Is it Ford? Is it Chevy? Who's got what it takes to come out on top? Is this going to be a slow race? They're both extremely heavy trucks. Both trucks are lined up on the line and waiting for the green light, and they're on. Broadside the cars, both trucks flying through the air. Close race to the end, but it looks like showstopper by maybe half a tire. Showstopper is moving on to the final round of racing here in Grand Rapids, Michigan. But who will he be facing off against in the finals? Our second pairing coming out for our semifinals of racing here. It is GMC versus Chevrolet, or GMC versus GMC. Oh, a little bit of a nudge there. Not sure if that was intentional or not. Square Body Chevy versus New Edge Chevrolet. It is Cruise Control taking on the Legend. Whoever comes out on top here in this competition, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be going to the final round of racing to face off against that big and tall showstopper 1971 Chevy C10. It is going to be an all Chevrolet, all GMC matchup. But who is going to come out on top and who's going to be showstopper in the finals? Is it going to be the blue and pink Cruise Control, or is it going to be the silver and blue, the Legend? Both trucks are on the converter and ready for the green light, and they are both flying across the cars. And the Legend, by a truck length, is going to be going to the finals to face off against Showstopper. Ladies and gentlemen, we have started with 8 of the biggest and baddest trucks in the circuit, and we are down to our final 2. This is a Chevrolet versus GMC matchup. Old Square Body Chevrolet versus a 1971 C10. This final round of racing again is brought to you by Vintage Trading Cards, Beam Beer, Beacon Fidelity, and of course, Beam Motorsports. Final 2 competitors, the Legend is going to be taking on Showstopper. Who is going to be coming out top? Who wants it bad enough? Both trucks are on the converter and on the green, and both are going head to head, and it is too close to call. I genuinely don't know who won this race. We're going to have to go back into the video board and see who came out on top and who won this race. As we go back here, we're going to slow it down just a little bit, get a different camera angle. As we got both trucks approaching the line there, both trucks hit straight up in the air. And Showstopper, but it looks like half a tire, is going to be our winner and comes out on top and knocks down the Legend. Ladies and gentlemen, your winner here at the NOMI Nationals in Grand Rapids, Michigan is Showstopper. He's going to come out of here and put on a little bit of a performance with the raw power from this big old girl. 73-inch tall tires, 1,800 horsepower, ripping some donuts for you. Your racing winner here, again in Grand Rapids, Michigan for the NOMI Nationals, is Showstopper. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I want to take a second to thank each and every single one of you for taking time out of your day to tune in and have fun with us and enjoy some old school, high-flying, car-crushing monster truck action. And be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you want more future content from all of us here at Beam Motorsports. Again, thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.